Hey. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Oh my goodness. Welcome to Periwinkle Palace Arts. You clicked on the link. It brought you here. I don't know what to tell you. I make you do it. Alright. Got that? Okay. I'm Princess Bun Bun. I'm here with my bunnies. We do art stuff here. And talk and do art stuff. Good morning. Let's say hi to our bunnies. This is Maya. Maya went with me to a concert on Tuesday. And we were tired afterwards. So tired. She didn't actually go in the concert. I left her in the car. Because I didn't want to, forget her somewhere. Or lose her. You never know what's going to happen in public. Anyway, this is my fibromyalgia bunny. And she is my best friend. She is the big sister of all the other bunnies in the family. I don't have room for you under my laptop right now. And I don't feel like cleaning all that stuff up because my hands are super shaky today. I've dropped so many things already. So you can sit over here, okay? Yes, we're coloring. Wait. This is Fisticuffs. Fisticuffs is representative of the fight response, of the fear response. Bunnies. Emotions. Reactions. Words. Anyway, this is Mr. Fisticuffs, because he fights. It's like when you say, oh, I got into a bit of fisticuffs down at the bar last night. You know. Anyway, he likes to do his stretches. Stretch. And when he gets really upset, or when he gets too afraid, his little mohawk will go flat and get all messed up. So to fix it, that's how I know he's upset. To fix it, we do this. This is how we get it out. And then he feels better when his mohawk is right. Yeah? Yeah. You want to go? Do you stretch? Stretch. You should always stretch before any activity. Sometimes even getting out of bed, you should stretch before. Here we go. You ready? You gonna do it? Okay. It's better. Not all the way. You need to do some more? Okay. Here we go. Get it. Oh, you gotta do your feet too? Yep. Okay. How's that? Oh, yes. You're looking marvelous. Okay. You feel better? Cool. Sometimes you just need to get it out of your system. Okay. Let me open the chat back up. Move that. Okay, we need 2 things to do art here. Okay, more than 2, but the main 2 is that we need cute hair, okay? Everything else can be a mess. Everything else can be a nightmare. It's fine. But I need cute hair. Because I do have to look at myself every now and again while I'm doing this, okay? And we need coffee. I have my coffee. My coffee maker's been acting weird lately, more and more often. It does this thing where, the LCD doesn't say the right thing. Either it's foreign characters that I can't read, or it's just some of the LED lights in there not being right. Sometimes. I don't know. But it also does this thing where if you hit the brew button, sometimes it just keeps brewing. Instead of when it gets to 10 ounces, it just keeps going and it overflows with hot water. It did that yesterday. So, but it didn't this morning. We're cool. I got coffee. Okay. So, I wasn't here yesterday because, as I said, Monday I went to a concert with my kid and my husband on Tuesday. I said that Tuesday too, didn't I? I did stream that day, didn't I? I can't remember. What is today? Today is Green Day. That means it is Thursday. La 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 la. Elmo song. Oh, that's Disney. I grew up with Disney. I can't help it. All right. Oh, I gotta show you. I got a t-shirt. It's upside down. That's the back. And this is the front. And I didn't tell anybody prior to the concert where I was going, who I was going to see, or when, precisely, or where, because I was nervous. I didn't want anybody to track me down. But we went to New Orleans, and we saw Hosier at the Smoothie King Center, which is right next to the Superdome. And it was amazing. There was also the front groups. This is a little bit too t-shirty for me. Just letting you know that we'll be cutting this up to make it more comfortable and cute. I'm not precious about stuff. There was two groups that were like playing before Hosier, and it was a group called Amble, which was fantastic, and Gigi Perez. Girl has got pipes, like just amazing, just amazing. All right, so I don't have my music on yet. That is a problem. That is another thing I need to art. My music. Oh, those headphones are in a purse. That's why I don't have my music on. Pardon me for just a moment. I'll be right back. Ta-da! Did you miss me? Okay. It's okay if you didn't. Alright, so. Music is life. Music is my heartbeat. Coffee is my bloodstream. So. Copyright's an issue. Can't play my music in the background for all of us to listen to. Only I can listen to it. But, if you want to know what I'm listening to or singing badly to, you can look right there in a little box underneath my face. I have a screen share of my Spotify mini player. That's the best I can do at this time, right? I'm running a little late this morning because I sat here and I was just like, I don't know if I can stream today. Like, I'm so tired. But I did show up, and I just started kind of going through my routine of setting everything up, and we eventually got here. How long can I stream today? I don't know. We'll see. I also have to go shopping tonight at Lowe's to look for, what are they called? Hardware for the house. Like cabinet knobs, drawer pulls, light fixtures, towel holders on the wall, all that stuff. Because everything in that house is gold. And I don't like gold. Period. End of discussion. Story. It doesn't look good to my eyes. It doesn't look good on against my skin. It doesn't look good in the Oval Office. Just saying. I like silver. I like anything but gold, and I don't like to use black when decorating a house, except for in very sparse areas, because black, it's a light thing. White reflects light. Black absorbs light. Therefore, if you put black stuff in a room, it's going to absorb some of that light. The more black stuff you put in a room, the more it absorbs light. And I'm talking about colors of paint here. Paint, finishes, etc. I'm not talking about anything else. Don't even go there. Um, it's simple science. White reflects light. The more white things you put as the base in a room, the more light is going to be reflected, and the bigger that makes the room feel. And then you can decorate things with whatever colors you want on a white base. So, yeah, there's that. I can do with just about any color, but gold. Gold hardware. It's gaudy. It's obnoxious. It turns green. Sometimes it gets that weird. I don't know. I just don't like gold. I don't. All right. Anyway, I have to do that. I genuinely do not want to. For so many reasons. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna show up. We might have to ride in a buggy. My feet hurt so bad still. Yeah. So I finally broken in my new boots. Yeah. They're fully broken in now. How can I tell? Well, the way you could tell you've broken in new boots is that you've walked in them long enough that they're starting to have little bends and folds in them. And also when the laces feel like they've loosened up a little bit and you have to tighten them. That's how you know. Anyway, breaking them in obviously sometimes gives you sores, blisters, aching feet. My ankles hurt really bad, but those straps, those tie-up boots, help support my ankles. And look, my this hip feels like it's broken. It's not. It's just complaining. It needs to pop, and it's being annoying. Oh, my headache was gone from like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it came back this morning. Awesome. I enjoyed a few days without it. That's all I can say. All right. So, I was working on these beads in our last session. I have these ones left to do, and I have these earrings to do, and then we'll get on to the flowers. And when we're finished with the flowers, we will come back through everything, clean everything up, do the finishing. I always do that at the end. There's always something that I want to touch up at the end. And some steps I actually skip until the end. For example, putting the white highlights into this shirt, I'm skipping that until the end. Here we go. Again, I have to keep reviewing the video here because when I closed captioned it, the program didn't close caption the entire thing, and I don't feel like doing the rest. I don't feel like doing, like, I'd have to split the video and then run it through the captioner again, and it's pain. So I'm listening to the video to get the colors and everything, and check my life source. What am I trying to say? Light source. I can do words. I promise I can do words. All right, so we got that one. We got this going. Music. So, black. I still didn't turn my music on. Every time I look at my phone, somebody has texted me, and so I answer the text, and then I forget what I actually like went to my phone for in the first place. Oh, my husband made a playlist of the music from the set. I'm trying to find it. There we go. No, just the parentals. There we go. So we'll play this playlist that he made. All right, like I said, come on in the chat if you want to talk. This is what we do here. Let me explain. I haven't explained in a little bit. So, every day, I get up and I come to this desk. And things remind me of what I'm supposed to do all day. I come to this desk and I do art stuff. Now, I've been videoing my art for years, but right here. But I was never posting anything because I've been having a hard time learning how to use Final Cut Pro. I've come to the conclusion that the reason for that is that I'm more interested in doing the art and sharing and talking to people than I am editing the videos. So I'm still working to learn it. But instead of waiting until the time comes that I can learn that and find a way to fit the editing into my schedule, I decided to just go live. So that's what we're doing. I go live. Anyway, every day I come to my desk and I do some kind of art. Some days I don't accomplish what I set out to. Some days I accomplish more than I set out to. Sometimes I change my mind about what I'm doing right in the middle. I stay here as long every day as I can. So I just decided to start sharing this time with others. I'd like to build a little community here of people who get together and just like do parallel play. We do art together, not necessarily the same exact art, but we just do art and we chat about art and life and how art helps us, how our creative side helps us, or how it helps the world. The process, the tools we use, whatever you guys want to talk about. Anyway, all that said, let's get into it. Let me sharpen this. I'm going to put some cast shadowing underneath these beads, just a little bit. My hands are quite shaky today, but I don't think they're as bad as they were the other day. I think we'll be able to get by with it today. A little cast shadow up against the upper edge, just a thin one, to make it have some depth. There's other areas where we'll come back and do that kind of stuff. Like underneath these beads, we'll give those cast shadows too. Alright, we're going to grab sienna brown and canary yellow. It's light umber. Usually I can pick my colors by sight, but some colors are just not great. They're close together, so for the most part I can tell my colors apart just by looking at them, because it doesn't take very long for me to start making the connection in my mind visually and mentally with the name of the color, etc. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Hang on. Let me rethink what I was talking about. I didn't think about it. I should have kept most of that sienna brown to the bottom of the beads that I'm creating. It's okay. This is why we're here. This is another reason that I don't edit my videos, because every time I go to edit a video, I take out all of the mistakes. I'm a perfectionist, okay? So if I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna make it perfect. And even though I really work to not let my perfection get the best of me, there's something about editing the videos that just brings out the worst levels of perfection. It's a task that's just difficult for me to do without getting in that mindset. And I actually want to show the mistakes that I made, because for me, a mistake is an opportunity to learn something new. And I really don't think mistakes are something that anybody should be ashamed of or afraid of. I used to be that way, and that fear of messing up is just paralyzing. So I've chosen to actively try to prevent that in my life, and I use my art to practice that prevention, because you need to practice these things. And it's horrible when certain things you can't practice unless you're in the situation, and then emotions are flying high. And so I use my art to practice good habits that I then apply to my life. Excuse me. That wasn't even a burp. Air just came up out of me as I was talking. Excuse me. So now I'm taking, I believe this is yellow ochre? No, it's goldenrod. And I'm applying this color at the very bottom of each bead, even the bottom of this big yellow bead. Okay, canary yellow. These are very small details, so they don't have to be perfect. I mean, the imperfection is kind of a natural way that they move anyway. Even on some of these, I'm changing up the colors and the styles of them as I go. I just decide, oh, I don't want to do it that way. So I'll change it. Let's do the next one, this Ithindrome blue. I'm going to use a little bit of light cerulean blue on the inside of the beads, mostly at the bottom. Under this big yellow one, I'm going to color the whole thing because that's kind of more in shadow. Okay, let's grab some, how about chocolate? I'm gonna make like a big boxy shape here. And then just do a few of those across here. It's just changing up the shape a little bit to give it some variation between the beads. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab yellowed orange. Actually, I changed my mind. I don't know how this is gonna look. It's sienna brown, but I'm gonna put some processed red over it, okay? Again, keeping the color to the bottom. I think this gives it a little bit of a look like it's sitting on a leather strap, a brown leather strap. And color that whole one in. Okay. We'll come back over that with white. I'm gonna grab my apple green. And I'm gonna do this, I wanna do like the same color all the way across, but like I'm gonna do a square and a circle, square and circle. So with the apple green, I'm gonna start with a little square. Oh my goodness. I can see that I have heavy hand pressure today. So I'm gonna work consciously to lighten my hand a little bit. So I dropped my can that I was carrying these pencils in a while back, and I think I broke a lot of the cores of these shorter ones. Which, can you please hold the pencil, please hand, please do what I say. That didn't really work out. That's fine, but it wasn't really what I was attempting to do. And light green, I'm gonna come through with light green. Yeah, that's fine. Right, and then we're just gonna make this bottom one kind of like this one over here. With, what color do I want to use for that? I've kind of forgotten what color I used for it. My bad. Well, let me just, how about dark brown? Let's use dark brown. I don't know what colors I used for that. I'm gonna be honest here. So we just, whatever. Goldenrod. Okay. Now we're gonna come all over those with the white pencil. Just gonna blend it and give it a little highlight. I want to let you guys know that I really appreciate when you're here. I really appreciate you watching these videos. This is not a business endeavor. This is my passion project. I do not use AdSense, AdWords. I don't have monetization turned on. I don't have sponsors. Everything that I use, I bought myself. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that here. One, because I would like to remain free to talk about things however I wish. Two, because I find commercials to be annoying, don't we all? But mostly, I don't ever want a monetary reason to do something here or not do something here. I want to just build a community of people who come together and share our art and talk about health and mental health and really anything else that's on your mind that that I think art can help with, or anything you want to share. I'm not doing tutorials here. I do have like answers to questions about art and stuff that I'll happily share. So if you have questions or comments, let me know. But otherwise, we're just hanging out here. That's it. I skipped doing the earrings, so I need to go back a little bit. Okay. Let that play for a second. We're going to need yellow, canary yellow. Probably sienna brown. Let me see how she does the technique. We're going to go around the outside of this with the brown and also on the inside. Alright, my hand is shaking and I don't have sienna brown in a Veritin, so we're just gonna prop my hand against the table, even my fingers, and I'm just gonna hold the pencil slightly above the paper and try to line it up with my edge and hold my pencil as steady as possible. And I'm making short strokes around instead of going like this all in one motion, because what I'm trying to do is only touch the paper for a short distance and only, like, as my hand shakes, I wait for it to stop for a second and then I touch the paper with the pencil and I try to drag it a little bit, just a little bit around. It's difficult sometimes to do this. Now, when I was working on the guitar, my hand was really shaky, but the reason that I did that is because that's the texture we were going for on the guitar. In this case, I'm not trying to create that texture, but that's where we're at right now. So either I can have two choices. I can either do the best I can, or I can not color. I'm gonna color. So we're just gonna do the best we can. If it messes up, we can clean it up later. Okay? But yeah, I'm just propping my hand and touching the paper for a short period of time, is what I'm trying to say. I don't let it stay on the paper very long. That way, when my hand shakes, it's more likely to not be on the paper that it's shaking. And then we're going to do the same on the inside. It's really important to me that I show you guys when I struggle. I'm not talking about coming on here and complaining every day. And I'm not talking about being super over emotional. I get like that sometimes, but and that is part of what I'd like to show when I have those issues, because I feel like it's important to just be upfront and honest. And I think that if I'm just upfront and honest, then everything will go well. But also, I part of my mission is to prove that anybody can be creative, even and especially those with disabilities. I think it's important that people don't count themselves out. I have severe hand issues. There's a lot of things that my hands can't do anymore. We have special doorknobs in this house. My husband replaced the doorknobs from being the turn knob. Look, I'm not even holding anything. Well, I am holding a pencil, but this hurts very badly. He replaced it with the doorknobs that you can just, it's like a handle that comes out to the side and you push it down. We have faucets that don't have turn knobs. They have lever knobs. Everything is levers because it's so much easier for me. And in doing those things around my house, I've created less strain on my hands. Therefore, I can save that fine detail work for the things I really want to do. Instead of saying, oh, I can't do art, I say, well, I can do art if I relinquish other things. So I don't try to open my own Propel bottles or sodas. I just let somebody else do that for me, even though it used to feel really bad to be less than independent, okay? But I've learned that if I let someone else open my bottles, that's a whole lot of strain taken off of my hands. And every moment, every action of strain that I can take off of my hands, I do, so that I can use my hands later for what I want to. I gotta figure out how to explain that better. I'll work on it, okay? And so, if y'all have ideas, you can always say them. Like, sometimes other people will say things better than I can. Like, so I can tell you a concept, and if you have a way to explain it better, we'll work together on this, okay? That's so good. That's good coffee. I'm not sure what flavor it is, but it's good. Okay, next, we're gonna make like an opal design inside of the earring. So let me see. She's gonna start with yellow and kind of scribble it through a little bit. Not the whole thing. Hang on. I don't know what color she's using. So, that's loud. Oops. Let me listen to what she's saying. And then throne blue. To me, it kind of looks like a little bit of lapis lazuli, which is very pretty. I love lapis. Right. So in there, I'm going to come around the whole inside with the, I can't say this, Indanth Roan blue. I was super tired going to the concert, walking to the concert. We had to go up to the 4th floor. We went up the escalator, and that was fine. But for some reason, we decided not to go down the escalator when we left. Instead, we went down the stairs. And wow, that was a lot. Come in next to the yellow a bit. Same over here. It's just a very tiny little piece that's behind the hair, so it's fine if it's just a little bit, you know. And then in the bottom, and these little rings, just a little bit. True blue. Okay. Light aqua. Oops. Is that hot pink? No. Hang on. Why is it telling me I'm signed out? That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so aqua, light aqua, go in, and I'm just adding a little scribble here and there. And then, like at the very top, the hot pink, just a little, and a little tiny touch at the bottom. They're really tiny spaces, so it's not needing a lot. There you go. Right. So I'm just gonna blur that a little bit with white. My crumbly rumbly white. And that just give it a little smudge. Okay. And I think that's pretty much everything except for the flowers. I love coloring flowers too. It's not something that I ever thought I would like, to be fair. To be fair, but I have come to really enjoy coloring flowers. Again, let me get to the right section of the class. Right. There we go. Now, before I start on the flowers, let me grab my little sheet and my paper. Got this in the way, so I can pull out the colors that we're going to use and put the rest like away because they're being in the way. They're being in the way. I usually do this before I start in the mornings, but I forgot to. That's what I forgot. Okay. Canary yellow. And we're going to grab the Verithin as well. I have the Premier and some colors I have Verithins in. Canary yellow. Yellow ochre. I don't know if I have yellow ochre in Verithin. Oops. Let me see. Lemon yellow. Spanish orange. I don't have that. Okay. Goldenrod. And I have that in Verithin, I believe. Yes. Sienna brown. Pink. Processed red. She says it processed red. She has an Australian accent, and it's really beautiful. Sky blue. So when I was pulling out the colors for this, I did not have sky blue. So I grabbed cerulean, and I grabbed that's cerulean blue, and I believe that somewhere in here I have, yes, light cerulean blue. So we're going to use light cerulean blue. Which I have the Verithin to go with that. And true blue. I have the Verithin for that, I believe. I'm pretty good at remembering what I do have and what I don't. There we go. Ethandrone. Pretty certain we don't have that in Verithin. Let's go back in the hole. Yep. So Ethandrone blue, yellowed orange. And permanent red. Okay. And there's greens in here too. Hang on. There should be greens. Leaves. There we go. It's a different section. So dark green. I definitely have a Verifin for that. That was really bad. Really, really bad. Try not to be upset. Usually they fall on my carpet. It's not a big deal, but it just hit the table at an angle. And that usually causes the core to break, especially when it comes to a Verifin, because the core is pretty hard and it makes it break easier. Excuse me. It didn't hit anything that time. Let's try this again. I try very, very hard not to drop my pencils. Okay, it was a black one too. At least I have extra black ones, right? Grass green. Apple green. Where are you? I'm absolutely certain that I have a dark green Verifin. I'm positive of it. So where is she? Well, okay. I'll just use grass green. We have apple green. One thing that I dislike about pencils is that quite often they, there's the Verifin and the Premier. By the time you get to the halfway through them, the writing on them has rubbed off and I can't read them. Good morning, Andrea. Excuse me. My voice is really scratchy. I screamed, not as much as my young one. I think I screamed it like once for every 5th time he yelled, and he was just giving it all he had with his voice. He said he was screaming for me and for him. I told him, oh, you go ahead, baby. I got all that out in my early 20s. But my voice is still sore and scratchy. Okay, what else do we have? Spring green. I'm pretty certain that I don't have that in Verifin. Let's see. True green. Yeah, we don't have that in Verifin, so we're just gonna go with that. And white. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the leaves of the flowers first, but I think that's all. So let me put all these back in my little thingy. Right. Yeah, I need you to sit over here for a minute, sweetie. Okay. So let me get all of these put away so they're just not rolling around and getting mixed up with what I'm trying to do. Because that's how I get confused. Leave the black and the white out. Alrighty. I'm just gonna put these back in. I love this little foam block that I have. I actually have like 30 of them. And they come in different sizes. They fit perfectly in the side of my desk, but also they are easy to use, lightweight. They're made of foam, and they can also be cut. I cut some of them in half to use for smaller groupings. And I have one in front of me over there that I cut out the center of the four holes together so that I could put my pencil erasers in it. The company says you can sand them, paint them, whatever. I haven't done all that, but I do trim them to the size I need. I probably need to switch these out a little bit. The concert was amazing. So we went to see Hozier, and we also saw the bands that played before that were called Amble. I've used pencil rolls before. I mean, I have pencil rolls, pencil cases. I keep some in boxes. I keep some in drawers. But I do like pencil rolls for toting a few of them around with me, like main colors. I just stopped going so many places that I kind of took them all out of there. But I have them, and I can pick them up. I think I started at about 8:45-ish. So, yeah. But yeah, I saw Hozier, Amble, and Gigi Perez. That girl has a voice like an angel. And it was pretty amazing. At the very end of the concert, they did Take Me to Church, which of course is one of my favorites. And at the end of the song, the singer pulled out something from his pocket. It was kind of like when a magician pulls a scarf out of a hat, except it was his pocket. And he like affixed it to one of the microphones and then let it drop. And it was a transgender flag. And you know, he talked a little bit about freedom and all of that stuff. And about how Ireland, I think, after the I want to say the Revolutionary War, here, or the Civil Rights Movement, and they and the Civil Rights Movement here inspired the Civil Rights Movement in Ireland. It was pretty inspirational, and my kid felt very good. I have 2 children who are trans, my youngest and my middle one. And so anytime that there's support for that, it really, like, he had tears and I had tears, and it was a whole thing. It's pretty amazing. No, I started, I don't really know what time. So far I've just done these beads and the earrings. There. And I'm about to start working on the flowers. That's all we have left to do. I'm never good at time, so I get it. But I was very tired, so I was very slow when we were walking to and from the concert and everything. But we made it. We went early, kind of left right at the end so we could get out quick. But And we got shirts. I have some specs on the page. It really bothers me, and it gets my perfectionism going full stream. Alright, so let me see what I'm doing with these leaves. Okay. Let me move these ones out of the way. We're just going to be using the greens. Okay. So we're going to start with dark green. Thank you. Yeah, perfectionism is something that I work on all the time. I really have struggled with it most of my life. But I do practice like skills like that with my art so that I can get in the habit of it and apply it to like other parts of my life. A lot of it's just practice, and some of it's following instructions. I don't always do that. So we're going to come up through the middle. And this is just about light source. So it takes me a little bit to get it. Then the next color we're going to come in with is apple green. I have like just air in my chest today. It just, I don't know. So then we're going to come over the same area where we just put the dark green, and we're going to follow that line and then come up through the middle. And so the light source here is going to put kind of a highlight on this side of the leaf, and it's going to be darker on this side. So I'm gonna go over the middle and go that way with this green. And then we're gonna come up the side a little bit, not all the way. Okay. And then the spring green. Okay, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll be watching the video, I'll do the first one, yeah, I don't like doing my work perfectly either, but as far as time, so I usually try to be on by 8:30 my time. It's currently 9:53 my time. So I don't always succeed at that. I would say probably about 50% of the time, actually, I don't succeed at that. I run a little late. But sometimes I run a little early. Not very often, but... Alright, so on the spring green, I'm going to come back over everything that I just colored, and I'm going to come around the entire side, this side of the leaf. I like to do 1 or 2 single leaves when I start so that I can get my technique down for that type of leaf, and then I'll just kind of like do more of them at a time. I'm going to leave a little bit of white right up against the middle vein here. And bring the white pencil right along the highlight. I'm going to go over that white highlight. And so that's the process that we're going to do for these leaves. Yeah, I don't really try for perfection in my art anymore. Sometimes like it really gets to me, but for the most part, I try to just be very easygoing about it, because it's just art. There's way more things in life to mess up on than art. And if art is all I'm messing up on, I'm doing good. Plus, I feel like I don't want my stuff to look exactly like everybody else's stuff. Why? That's boring. So yeah, there's really no need for perfectionism in art. And I think that however you do it is good for you. Now, when it comes to learning a new technique, I can be a little bit fussy about it until I get the technique, and then I'm just like, I get messy. I don't care. And I used to care so much. Okay. So let's go this way. So I'm going to hit the cast shadow here. So again, just the same kind of technique. And middle, and a little extra right there. A little tiny bit right there. So kind of close to the edge, but that's all right. It's small leaves, so you're not going to have as much room to get in there. So I'm applying the green closer to the, what side is this? My right? And leaving the most space on the left side of it. There we go. Yeah, 2:30 sounds about right your time. And again, just come along the bottom here. Well, yeah, when you're doing anything, honestly, if you're tense, your body will be tense. And so in general, if your body is tensed up because you're stressed out or, you're really focused on something, you will cause yourself to be in more pain. And so it's pretty important to remember every now and again just to relax. Put your shoulders down. My husband will come in the room and he'll be like, Chris, your shoulders don't go on your ears. They're not earrings. He'll be like this, all stressed out. But yeah, you get cramped up. That's absolutely valid. Just letting that run for a second so that she can finish filling it in and I can see where the light source is. Yeah. There's a bunch of leaves right here, so it's like Ew. I'm always running my head into that light. At some point, I will actually have the energy to get up and move some stuff around on my desk. Because I want to bring my laptop down here, so I'm not always looking right there. But doing that means I have to change up where every light is. I think this is cinnamon Subway coffee. Yummy, yummy. So the cast shadows, they go around the object that's above it. And this is a good way to get your depth too. And that's why I say, like, the other day I was saying, your three colors. You have your light color, your mid-tone color, which is the true color if you want the object to be, and then your dark color. Where you put your dark color in the cast shadows and use that for your darkest shading. And also, so there's two kinds of shadows, and this took me a while to figure out. There's cast shadows and then there's form shadows. The cast shadow is what's on top having, so like the flower petals, they put a shadow here on the leaf. But then you also have your form shadow, and your form shadow is basically what goes down the line here and around. It shows the form of the shape. So I often like to do whole sections with the cast shadow, especially with like flowers and hair. So I'll do the whole cast shadow and then I'll come back and do the form shadows. So if I were going to do that right now, it would be something like this. So cast shadows there, and then you come over here. This is a cast shadow. And then to come out with the vein right here, that would be form shadow. This is your cast shadow. That's the only thing that's your cast shadow here. These would be your form shadow. And so there's two things I find that create depth when you're coming to images, and that's combining your light, medium, and dark color, and using that to show light and shadow, and also your cast shadows and your form shadows. Um, and I used to get it wrong a lot, like a lot. But it's just a thing that you just have to practice it, and eventually it will come together. For me, not all concepts or ideas click right away. They just don't. And I have to do things over and over. And I'm one of those people, I can't learn something unless I do it. If you sit down and you just show me how to do something, but I don't actually touch it or like participate or follow along, I'm not going to get it. I learned this when my husband was trying to teach me about computers many, many years ago. He's one of those people who teaches by walking over to the computer, typing in what you need, and walking away. And I'd be like, yeah, that didn't help me. I mean, it accomplished the task, but in 3 minutes, I'm going to need to do this task again. Are you going to keep walking over here? He's like, yeah, I don't mind. That's not the point. The point is, I'm not learning how to do it. So, yeah, we used to argue about that a lot. He gets it now. I would think he gets it now. Okay. So these ones are really, really tiny. They're not really going to have a middle vein line. Again, this would be your cast shadow. That's your form shadow. And then I'm going to come up on the edge just a little bit, the opposite edge. So they kind of look like they're turned sideways. So you're not seeing this side of these leaves. You're only seeing this side. I don't have my music on at the moment because when I unpause the video, I'm listening to that. And I keep thinking to myself, what's going on? There's something missing from your day. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. The music. So. And once I get my cast shadows, and my form shadows in, the rest of it is kind of intuitively just following that pattern to do the other colors, if that makes sense. So this part usually goes kind of slow for me, and then the other colors are faster. I desperately do not want to go to Lowe's. Desperately. I have to, though. Though I don't know why we can't go on Saturday. Oh, probably because there's a football game. So, the thing about painting for me is like, it's so squiggly. I have trouble um, imagining how to build and mix colors with wet mediums. So that's definitely something that I'll be taking one in the next year or so. Like, I can't imagine trying to do this with paint right now. I would be driving myself insane. But I really want to learn to be more comfortable with wet medium, so we're gonna do it. I don't know when. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just kind of visually where you see the light. The more I do this, the easier it is for my eyes to kind of process where things are going to land as far as light source. I mean, I learned about light source when I was in 8th grade art, but all the different times that I've learned it, it didn't really help me because I would do whatever project I was doing and then I wouldn't mess with the light source again. So I never practiced it like over and over and over. And I feel like the repetition is really paying off. One thing I still have trouble with though, which I'm doing right now and just realized it, is I don't uh I don't change the side my light source is on. Um as the light moves around. Sometimes I forget to do that. This is fine. I'll get it. Um yeah, so I'm gonna go that direction up this side. Sharpen the pencil up. Oh, I do the same thing. Absolutely. Um, I have hundreds of projects in reserve, honestly. Um, I just tend to do a lot of a few of my favorite hobbies. I do that a lot. And then here and there, I throw in other random things. I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's chewing himself. I used to just yell at him when he would do that and he would stop, but I'm pretty sure the dog is deaf. Because he doesn't acknowledge me when I yell at him anymore. So on this side, all the leaves have the highlight facing down this way. On this side, they'll be facing down as well. That's not what I'm trying to say. Never mind. my shaky hand. I think that art is helpful for me. Like, it's helped me develop patience. I don't know. I think having kids helped me develop patience too. I was not a patient person. When I was growing up, my mother used to tell me patience is a virtue. And when I got old enough that I thought it was okay to say something back, I do. I have several sets of the Kuretake Gansai. Love them. I've used them just to accent some pages in the past. I think back in December I did something with them. But yeah, I used to tell my mom once I was older that it's not a virtue I was born with. Like, I wasn't born with that one. It didn't make her happy. Nothing did. But I don't know. At some point I got brave, I guess. Yeah, I think it's a 28 pan set of basic colors. And then, one, two, three, four. I have 5 sets of the specialty ones, like the graphitent. I have like the starry sky ones. I have the gemstones. They're gorgeous. I absolutely love them. My dog always wants to get up on me, but I don't allow her at the desk usually because my dogs shed. I don't know why. But if I put her up here in my lap, there will be dog hair all over my art area, and that drives me crazy. Once we move to the new house, they're gonna have a yard to go out in with a doggy door, and we won't have to have them on leashes or in the kennel. Did I get them all? I think so. Yeah. So now we're just going to do the apple green. And we're just going to follow the shapes that we've made now. That's good coffee. I don't really, there's not very many coffees that I don't consider good coffee, to be honest. So again, I'm applying most of this color to the right side of the vein, and I'm leaving that white highlight on the bottom side or the left side. And I think the only reason that I don't do more different kinds of art on the stream is just because um, I don't have the room right now to have everything laid out the way I want to in order for me to be able to just grab a project and go and swap it out. But when we move, I'm actually going to have basically 3 rooms that are devoted to all my different arts. So we'll be moving my building, and that's my main studio, or it will be. Right now my studio's in the living room. That's this little area. But eventually it will be in the building. Then I'm going to have another room, which is off the garage, which is going to be like the wood shop and tools and things like that. That's going to be my wood shop. And then there's the glitter room, which is just this huge, huge room that my husband and I are splitting down the middle. It's going to be very nice. It's a process that's taking forever. Like, so it frustrates me because everything that I want to do as far as arts and crafts for right now is kind of just up in the air. But I tell myself, quit fussing. It's been up in the air for years. And now we actually have the house to move to, and we can do something about it. So I just need to be patient for a little bit longer. I am excited in a bunch of ways, and I'm not excited in a bunch of ways. The house was a gift. It used to be my husband's grandmother's house. And it's like across the street and 3 doors down from my mother-in-law. And this woman has been telling me since I was 17 years old, oh, so-and-so's moving out down the street. Do you want to go look at the house? I'll buy it for you. And I'm like, no, I do not want to live on the same street as you. I'm sorry. That's been going on for like 26 years. But then she gave us the house. Like, how can you argue with that? Actually, I love my mother-in-law, and I do want to be closer to her as she's getting older. So it's not a bad thing, but this is our first house we ever owned, the one I'm in right now. And to be honest, it's one of those things of like, I walked into the house and I knew immediately. I was like, this is my house. This is my house. So we've lived here for a long time, and I pretty much, mostly everything that I didn't like about this house, I've changed it or just accepted it. Like, there's a cabinet up there right over the counter in the kitchen. It's one cabinet by itself. It makes absolutely no sense. You can't put anything underneath it because it's too tall. You could, like, unless it's right on the bottom of the bottom shelf in the cabinet and right close to this side, you can't reach anything in there without standing on something. It's a useless cabinet, and I want to take it down. And I was going to take it down. I was literally going to take it down and like paint the wall, but then we decided to move. So yeah. But so the deal is that there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be like fixed, changed, etc. in the house. The biggest project, I think, is we're putting a fence up. Because who wants their mother-in-law to look out their front window and be looking into your front window? Just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding about that. Let's be honest. I'm not kidding about that. There's going to have to be some serious, like, boundaries with my mother-in-law. But the thing is she's really old. And she's forgetting things a lot. And that kind of runs in the family. So, all of the things that we've come to terms with over the years with each other, like we have agreements, like this is how we operate. Okay, we have boundaries. Sometimes she forgets that she learned this stuff. But I love her to death. So, I don't mean that as a pun. I really do love her to death. She's more like my mother than my mother ever was. So, I am excited for it. There's a lot I'm excited about with the house. Like, for one thing, one of the big projects is the bathtub. I have not been able to take an actual bath for years because my bathtub in my bathroom is also stupid. It's stupid. It's not put in the bathroom in any kind of logical way. Like, there's this step on it that's curved, and there's no way to hold onto the wall or any kind of handle or anything because it's right in the center. But the tub itself is like an oval tub, and it's in the corner of the bathroom. It's not along a wall, like perpendicular. It's diagonally, and it's just impossible for me to take a bath in that bathtub. So we are having the entire tub shower situation in the new house in the bathroom completely redone. It's the most expensive part, and the most detailed part, because we went about it in such a way as to ensure functionality over prettiness. At the same time, I still was able to get the prettiness because I'm a basic person. I just want clean, bright white. That's all. Simple. But I'm very excited about that because we've built it out in such a way that I will be able to take a bath or a shower or anything that I want to do. I can get in there and sit on the little bench that we're having built and stick my feet in the water if I just want to, like, soak my feet. And it's going to have safety bars, and it's going to have, we're having an extra shower head installed on the side of the shower with like a little thumb switch that I can use to divert the water from the main shower head, so that I can sit down and on the bench, which is a solid bench, like built in, and grab the shower head and bathe myself. I'll even be able to sit in the tub and bathe my dogs. So I'm so excited about that. Very excited about that. I'm excited about a lot. I'll tell you what I'm not excited about. Moving. Basically. Moving. My mother moved me around like maybe every 6 months to a year of my life. And I'm the type of person now, I like stability. I don't like change. I don't. So I would prefer to not have to move again. But that said, this is going to be our final house. So we're getting everything exactly the way we want it before we move in. And in doing so, we're thinking ahead. Like, all right, this is going to work for now, but in 5 years, if I can't, like, walk or whatever, what are we going to do? Well, we're planning ahead for those things. So I'm building in, what do you call it? Longevity, functionality. Yeah. future-proofing. I'm future-proofing my house. As it is right now, like, there's things like, my dogs are pretty old, and going up and down the stairs is difficult for them now. But the new house won't have stairs, and it's also very difficult for me to bend over sometimes to put them out on a leash. So we're taking out one of the walls in the kitchen and installing a sliding glass door, and then right next to that we're putting a dog door. So we're taking all these things into consideration. But the process of moving, of packing things up, of toting them, of trying to put things where they should go when you get to the new house, and then spending the next 9 years or so, being exaggerative, I'm exaggerating, you're still unpacking stuff. I don't want to do that. Luckily, I use a lot of storage baskets, like open baskets, as my organizing system. So a lot of the stuff is like already in baskets, and we could just take the basket to the new house and put it in the new room where it's going to go. And I already know where everything's going to go. So it's just a matter of mostly it's a matter of getting other people, my husband and my children, other people, to listen to me when I say this needs to be moved from here to exactly here in the new house, because I can't go back and forth. Like, I'm not going to be the one who can pick it up and move it. I have to rely on these other people who sometimes they don't listen to me too well. And it's various reasons. Like my husband, he just forgets that I said anything at all. My oldest gets distracted. So I'm guaranteeing you he will put some stuff down and forget to go back and pick it up and put it where it was supposed to go. He'll just leave it. And my youngest gets confused and will walk around in circles with the bucket for like an hour. My middle one doesn't live here in the States, so sometimes, even though, your family may be wonderful, sometimes, even as adults, getting people to cooperate with you is like herding cats. But it is what it is, and my husband is doing his very best to make the entire situation as easy as possible for me, which I really appreciate. But I still really I don't want to go to Lowe's today. I'm still hurting from Tuesday. Probably gonna do whatever I can to get out of this today. I'm gonna try really hard. What can I do? How can I get out of this? I'm just whining. I don't I don't get mad about things the way I used to. I used to be very volatile when it came to my emotions. So it's just, as I've gotten older, certain things don't matter to me anymore. They just don't matter at all. Good morning, darling. No, sweetie. Is the van out there? Yeah. All right. And that doesn't tell you much. Guessing he's probably still asleep, sweetheart. Be nice. My dogs aren't very good doorbells. They're broken. When somebody inside the house knocks on a door inside the house, or even if I were to just tap my coffee cup, my dogs would think that somebody was at the door. But when there's somebody at the door, even when my mail lady comes and throws a package on the porch and it hits the front door, they don't do anything. So I call them my broken doorbells. That's another reason that I think my big dog is either going or gone deaf. I need to get him to the vet. Is that in general, at this point, he doesn't really bark or respond to anything unless he sees the little dog run off. If the little dog jumps up and starts barking and runs off, he's like, oh, let me go see too. Freaking weirdo. He's a weirdo. He's my weirdo. So I'm trying to decide if I'm just going to do these leaves and then go to lunch, or I'm maybe want to stay on today a little longer and finish up the flowers too. But I'm just not sure how much energy I have right now. I have to evaluate myself. Let's think about it. Evaluation. I'm being ridiculous today. Which isn't different from any other day, actually. It's not different. At the end of the cup. Yeah, that's depressing.
I got you.
What?
I got you.
Okay. Thank you, sweetie. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like I want to stay on and finish the flowers because I didn't color yesterday. Yesterday I didn't even come to my desk, and I feel off when I don't like come to my desk. But I just needed to stay in bed, so I did that yesterday, and I sat in bed and I colored one of my spirals. So like when I go to my room, I also have an activity in there, or several that I can work on, and I pick a different activity based on where I am. I like to do my classes and my main pieces that I'm working on here at my desk. And then I do like other less important to me. I don't know. Less important to me. All right. I've got spring green. I'm gonna just leave that little white strip in there for the highlight. So again, I'm leaving the strip of white at the bottom, right up against the vein line. And then taking the spring green through the entirety of the upper section of the leaf. Crud. I just realized that I let Julian go and make coffee when my coffee maker's been messing up, and I hope it doesn't overrun water on him. I made a post on Instagram Tuesday. I took a picture of me and Maya going to the concert and posted it. But I haven't made a post other than that in months either. Like, I have a tendency to let social media just like not exist for a while. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you organize your life in such a way that, you know, no matter what your ability is for a particular day, or what level of spoons you have, I set things up in various places, based on, where I'm working, but also based on kind of where I am is based, where I am in the house or whatever is based on how I'm feeling. So that's the first category that I organize according to. And then from there, it's kind of organized by what I want to do on camera versus what I don't care about doing on camera. So, like, when I'm in my room, I'll do various things. Like I said, the spiroglyphs. I'll sit there and do. What am I trying to think of? I do sewing. Like, I don't sew with a machine mostly. It's something I want to learn, but I have a sewing machine. I don't have it out. But I'll do like altering clothes in bed. If I like to knit and crochet in bed, I like to make trying to think of the name of it. It's like an oriental style of making beaded things and ropes. It's not kirataki. It's something like I can't think of the name of it right now. But then like I do mixed media stuff. Mostly I do that outside. I try to do painting out in my building. Frames, anything that I'm doing, like as far as like woodwork or using my Dremel and stuff, I do that stuff outside.
You have a good day.
You too, sweetie. Hey, where's your hoodie? Can I see it?
If you bring it back to my room, put it on the chair.
The chair? Okay,
Here you go.
absolutely. Thank you. I just want to show it off. This is the one we got for him. It's a big hoodie. We love to buy him hoodies. He loves his hoodies. Where's the front? Is that the front? No, that's the front. There's nothing on the front. There's a big bucket. Ooh, he's gonna love that. I guess there is something on the front. But we got the logo on the front. He's such a small person, but he likes his clothes so big. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then mine is a t-shirt. I can't remember if I showed it or not. And I love the flower on the back. So, like, even on the post that I made on Tuesday on Instagram, I said I said announcements coming soon. And I've just been hesitating to post about it because, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm still trying to get used to doing this. But I also figure I have a lot of live streams already up, so people can go check them out. So I'm gonna post the announcement on Instagram, and I'm also going to try to open up the community tab on YouTube and see if I can make little posts there, because I think it would be helpful if I'm not going to stream on a particular day for me to be able to say, hey y'all, I'm feeling like crud and I'm not gonna make it. Um, but yeah, I take things really slow, really, really slow. I don't mind building slowly because I don't really have any plans for the rest of my life. I have no plans for the rest of my life. This is my plan. This is my plan. So, and I guess I'd rather grow slowly than quickly because I don't want to get overwhelmed. I've started a lot of things in my life, and for whatever reason, they fizzle out or something changes. But this, I don't know. I've been working on starting this for, like I said, a couple of years. Um, I got tired of just like making the videos and then struggling to edit them and everything. Like I said, so that's why I don't know. I jumped online. I didn't really think it through, to be honest. I never had intended to do lives, but to be fair, the day that I started this, I basically felt like the world was about to come to an end. Like everybody was throwing bombs all around over into other continents, and I was stressed out about it and I was scared. And so I decided, well, if the world's going to end, it's a great time to go ahead and embarrass yourself on the internet. Let's stream. And that's how this started. I genuinely did not even think about it. Like, sometimes that's how I have to do things. Just, oh, you want to do that? Okay, go ahead and do it. But, I do need adult supervision sometimes, which I'm grateful that I have, because sometimes I act like a child. Sometimes I make decisions like a child, which is yet again one of the reasons that I don't feel I don't feel like going to Lowe's. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. All right. So there we go. And let's grab our crumbly white pencil that keeps crumbling on me. I'm not willing to not use the rest of the pencil. I can definitely well, I tell you what, I'll get my husband to do the time zones for me. Time is not a thing that I have no perception of time. I have this thing called dyschronometria, which basically means that time passes and you have no idea how much time has passed. And that you lose time, you forget things. It's a whole thing. I've never been good with time. I didn't learn how to read a manual clock until I was like, I want to say I was in 10th grade. And it wasn't for a lack of trying. And that trait that I have has only gotten worse as I've gotten older. So anything related to time, I pretty much let my husband deal with. I'll have him write up the time zones. Absolutely. And I guess I've been nervous about announcing it. You know? You ever have that thing where like you start a thing and you're really having fun with it and kind of nobody knows yet that you're doing it? And then as soon as you tell somebody, something happens, and it's like it just rolls out of control, and you can't deal with it. And sometimes I think a lot of it comes from negativity from friends or family who are, they think they're being helpful. But yeah, I've just been nervous to announce it before. I guess I wanted to make sure that I was going to stick with it. Yeah. So there's a thing of like when I first started this, I had no idea what times I would be able to do this or anything like that. So there's a lot of things that I'm still adjusting. But then I thought about it, and honestly, I'm going to be adjusting every day for the rest of my life, because that's what it means when you have chronic illnesses, right? So I was like, well, just get over it then. Just get over yourself. I really appreciate you being so supportive, though. I really, and honestly, the people who naysay things about me, they're not in my life. I can tell you exactly how many people are in my life. My husband, my boyfriend, I have 3 children, I have 2 dogs. Yes, they count. Each of my children has a significant other, and my mother-in-law. Oh, and I have 2 friends online that I talk to, and now you. That's it. It came from toxic people. I had no choice but to, you know how people clean out their Facebook friends list? I cleaned out my friends list in real life. And it can get lonely, but on the whole, I am more healthy. I am less stressed. I am more confident. And I wish that I had known that. I mean, I'm a naive person. I always believe in the goodness of others, and I take things at face value, and people love to take people like me and manipulate them and abuse them. And so I had a friend who was struggling with some stuff with her relationship. I started doing some research to see if I could give any advice. And I learned what a narcissist is. And I realized she was a narcissist. Her girlfriend was a narcissist. And she was literally messing with my head. There's a lot of things that I will tolerate in life. There's a lot of things that I will forgive and be patient with. But messing with my mind intentionally is not one of them. It's just not. And if you're messing with my mind, if you're messing me up, that's affecting the other people in my life. My kids, my husband, my boyfriend. No, we're not doing that anymore. It was hard. It's still hard. I still miss certain people. But, it's about health. It's about my mental health and my physical health, because your mental health affects your physical health. But I didn't really know there was a lot of people in UK. That sounded silly. Of course there's a lot of people in the UK. I didn't know there was a lot of people in the UK that want to hang out in the afternoon. So I guess that the fact that I come out here and do this first thing every morning worked out, yeah? I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Maybe I'll remember tomorrow. Who knows? Okay. Let me evaluate where we're at here. I think I'm going to clean this up a little bit with grass green and the Verathon real quick. It's 10:54. I think I'm going to leave it here for today, and we'll do the flowers tomorrow. Because I definitely, as much as I don't want to go to Lowe's, I definitely need to rest and conserve those spoons before I do. By the way, Andrea, I noticed the other day that you mentioned spoons, and I know that's a really popular kind of thing on the internet, but in the moment, I was just like, what? Halfway across the world, and somebody else uses the spoon theory. That's epic. It's something that I really relate to, and I've used it for many, many years to create a theory around what I needed to do. But it wasn't so much I needed a theory for myself as it was I needed a way to explain what was going on and what I was attempting to do to other people. And that works really well. I have that that whole little story printed out on the wall in my bedroom. I don't really need it hanging there anymore, but it's there. Even my children use that. I know my oldest has used the spoon theory to explain things sometimes to his fiance. I overheard it, and I felt like, woohoo! He can be taught. I think a lot of people think that adult children are beyond help if they don't learn everything they're supposed to learn, you know, before they leave home or turn 18 or whatever. I don't agree with that. I think that if your children trust you to teach them at a young age, they will still trust you to give them advice when they get older. And that's all advice is teaching somebody something. Yeah, because okay, I totally get that. Saying I can't do something, it's never really accurate for me either. Because for me, I might not be able to do it today. That doesn't mean it's going to be out of my reach tomorrow or next year. In fact, I might not be able to do something right now, and in an hour, I'll be on it. Like, I'll be able to do it. Because the capability that I have varies all day long. And, you know, if I have the opportunity to plan ahead for something, I can do that. But in the moment, I'm not always able. So my kids have gotten pretty used to this. Like, if they walk up to me and, hey, Mom, can you help me with this? And I'm like, I can, but not right this minute. Can you give me an hour? You know? And they used to throw fits about it until they finally got it. And they realized that if you wait that hour, you're going to get much better response from me. So, yeah. I find it a really helpful tool to be able to interact with people in a way that they can understand that you're not just being stubborn. You're not just giving up before you even try. You genuinely want to do the thing, and you understand yourself enough to know that you need a hot minute before you can do that. So it's not giving up, it's just saying that's not where my capability is right now. And sometimes for me it's physical. Most of the time it's physical. But there's also times where it's mental. Like, my husband now asks me, when do you think you'll be able to have a conversation about XYZ? Because, like, don't try to have a conversation with me Monday morning. My brain is insane on Monday morning. And also, let's not try to have a serious conversation after like 8 p.m. Because like I might be awake, but I am not necessarily coherent. So all I'm really doing with this Verithin is I'm going over the darkest areas on the leaf and just flattening down that tooth of the paper so that the white spots disappear and giving it more of a rich tone. And that helps your depth as well. Sometimes when we are coloring, our contrast gets a little less. The contrast is, it fades out, I guess. So all I do is I'll come back in with my darkest shade and just clean that up a little bit and layer that darkest color back on top so that you really see that difference between the darkest and the lightest areas. My hip is complaining. It's complaining loudly. Oh, it hurts. It needs to pop. Those stairs. I don't know why we went down the stairs when we were coming out. It doesn't seem like that was a logical choice, but it's the choice we made. By the time I got to the bottom of the stairs, my child was coming back to get me. Okay. I think that looks pretty darn good. We're gonna call it there. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll work on the leaves. But I gotta go sit in the bed for a little while and see if I can pop my hip. It's never fun when you're in the store and your hip pops, because then you go down on the floor and you look like a crazy person in front of people, which I don't really care about anymore, but sometimes my husband does if I'm with him. But yeah, it was great to have you here again, Andrea. This is so fun. I will definitely get him to work on that time zone thing, because I know that's pretty confusing. Like, to this day, I still don't know the difference between Central Standard Time and any other time, honestly. And I've tried to learn these things. I've tried. But yes. So we did the beads. We did these earrings. I think the earring came out pretty good. It's got that opal look to it. So all we got left is the flowers. And then we'll go back and pump up the cast shadows and the details on everything with the blacks and the whites. I like how this is coming out. I really do. Well, that will be awesome. I'd love to see pictures of your garden. I love flowers. Okay, I think that's all I've got today. Yep. This has been Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun. I hang out here with my bunnies. We did art stuff today. We showed up and we did stuff. Yay. Have a great day.